2514. Now, Elizabeth King's telephone number is 751-2514. Julia Anderson, 427-5379. Julia Anderson, 771-4897. Now, I want to make sure that you have those telephone numbers. Elizabeth King, 751-2514, 427-5379, or 771-4897. It's time now all over this nation for people to think about the members of the National Board of Directors for NACP. I'm expecting Mr. Starr from Fort Worth, Texas, and a special hello to all of you in Fort Worth, Texas that's visiting with me today. I'm expecting a very important call from Mr. Starr. So many times we like to stop during the Christmas holidays, and we would like to call your attention that you have some businesses in Oklahoma City that are extremely interested in you. They want to express to each one of you individually their gratitude because this year, when you needed their services, you realized that they were there. Extending sincere holiday greetings, the friendly people at Todd's Auto and Body Shop, located at 1329 Northeast 23rd Street. There you have the opportunity not only to meet Mr. John L. Todd, but also Mr. Eddie Jones and Henry McCullough. If a customer installs a motor, the front end, if this is what you want, or if you want to go and buy the supplies, they will install them for you for a price that you can afford. They are open Mondays through Fridays from 8 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 p.m. to 3 p.m. And that's at Todd's Auto Repair, which is a complete auto service. They also have record service, all work guaranteed. The telephone number is 427-9173. That's Todd's Auto Repair here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. When we think of Christmas, certainly we think of the friendly people at the Petite Salon, located at 1917 Northeast at 24th Street. The telephone number is 751-4012. Mrs. Donna Weekly is one of the operators. Vivian Tucker, Viola McGrew, and the owner, the lovely Mrs. Marie Weekly. From the Petite Salon, 1917 Northeast at 24th Street, comes these holiday greetings. As a holiday approaches with its message of love and friends, Wilbert Miles, Willie Gable, and Mr. Robert L. Gates would like to extend to you sincere Christmas wishes. The Gates Barbershop, located at 2609 North Martin Luther King Boulevard, is a place where they make people beautiful. The hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesdays through Saturdays. That's the Gates Barbershop, where they make people beautiful. 424-1758 here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. There are so many stories to tell. There are so many places to go. And certainly as you go during the holiday season, we would like to extend to each one of you, wherever you are, sincere holiday greetings. Enterprise Square Place. Enterprise Square Place is a place where you can save money. Oh, what a deal you will be glad you did when you go to 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue. It's a place called Enterprise Square Place. It's a place where you can be safe at last. All at Enterprise Square Place. That's 4901 North Martin Luther King Avenue. You don't have to go downtown and fight the crowd. All you will have to do is to go there. You can pay your utility bills, take care of your postal needs, all at Enterprise Square Place. Now, while you are there, While you are at Enterprise Square Place, remember you can get your clothes cleaned at Sherry's Cleaners. Now I want you to remember that name because that Cleaners is managed by Mr. Calvin Williams. That's at Sherry's Cleaners, 4905 North Martin Luther King Avenue. Do you like gospel concerts? Well, let me tell you, tomorrow is the day. Sunday, December the 6th, 1987 at 7 o'clock sharp. You will have the opportunity for the first time in Oklahoma City to hear the World Tour Gospel Concert. This is in association with the Oklahoma Gospel Music Club and Herbie's Gospel Records. It will be at the Marriott in downtown Oklahoma City, starring Tremaine Hawkins, co-starring Rance Allen Group, plus Serenity and guest church choirs. If you love music, you had better get down to Herbie's. That's where you can get your advance tickets for $10. You can also buy your tickets with your credit card or your Visa or your MasterCard. You may call 948-6800. The gospel records, if you don't buy them at the door, you will have to pay $13, and that's a chance of a lifetime. So many times I want to tell you about what's happening in Oklahoma City, and today you will have the opportunity because on the Clara Luper radio show, you will hear a story that I call The Impossible Dream. But to some, the impossible dream becomes a real dream. When we think of our city, we have to think about the changes that are being brought about in our city. I had the opportunity this week to go to the Shady View Nursing Home. Now, most of you have known about the Shady View Nursing Home. You know about the dream and the aspirations of the owners of that home. But I want to tell you something. I want you to go by that home now. At the Shady View Nursing Home, you will be proud that it's being located on the northeast side of Oklahoma City. It is located at 1163 East Madison Street. The telephone number is 424-1486. Now, the Shady View Nursing Center or Nursing Home Incorporated is under new management. Fred and Jim Cummins. And the Cummins would like for you to go by. And when you go by, I want you to be sure and tell them that you heard it on the Clara Luper radio show. You will be so pleased with the results. You will be pleased. Now, I want you to go by Shady View Nursing Home, located at 1163 East Madison Street, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. News are being made every day, and certainly I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, by telephone, with a young man who has given his life in the cause of freedom. Mr. Starr. I am fine. Would you talk just a bit louder, please?
All right. Fine. I am in Tyler, Texas.
Oh, I was thinking you were in Fort Worth. You're in Tyler, Texas.
We just finished the NACP workshop on the campus of Texas College. It's on the way back. Yeah,
okay, what kind of workshop was it?
NACP workshop. We were discussing the Constitution and purposes and goals of NACP. It was hosted by the Tyler branch. Mr. McConaughey is the president here in East Texas.
Oh, that's wonderful. I understand that the branches in Texas are growing.
They really are, and I'm really impressed with the branch in Tyler because we've been asleep for a while.
Okay, once again, I'm going to have to ask you to speak just a little louder.
All right. I'm really impressed with the growth of the branches in Texas. In fact, here in East Texas today, Tyler branch is conducting this workshop because they've kind of been dormant for a while, but they're coming alive again. They're doing well.
Okay, so they are really getting a better understanding of the NACP and its function.
That's right. That was the purpose of the workshop today.
Okay, now, Mr. Starr, I understand that you have been very active in NACP, not only in Texas, but on a national level. Am I correct?
That's true. I am a member of the National Life Membership Committee. You know, the Life Membership Committee committee has an important function within ACP. In fact, that's where most of our resources come from, those persons who get involved with the live membership.
All right, so now live membership. And when you say live membership in the NACP, are you talking about one of those $500 memberships?
Right, we're talking about the $500 and also the $1,000, which goes to charity. Specifically, we have to start off with the $500 membership, which can be paid, though, in installments. As we purchase everything else, a minimum of $50 per year, which is less than $1 per week. And that membership can be purchased for a total of $500. And after they have completed a life membership of $500, if they would like to continue to support the NACP, they may take what we call a Golden Heritage membership, which is $1,000, and it can be paid in installments of $100 per year. And we need more life members in the NAACP.
I understand, sir, that you are a candidate for the National Board of Directors of NACP.
That's true. I am a candidate from Region 6, which includes the 5 states in this area, which is Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, New Mexico, and Arkansas. I am first Vice President of the Texas State Conference, and second Vice President of the Fort Worth County branch, and Chairman of the Education Committee. So I am seeking the support of all the persons who can hear this particular program for a position on the National Board. They may not know that the National Board is made up of 64 persons elected throughout the United States. And I would like to serve. I'm making myself available to serve on the National Board. That's the policy-making board of the National Association for the National Colored People.
Why do you think you're so qualified to serve on the National Board of Directors of NACP?
I would think that I'm qualified in several ways. Number one, by my experience and involvement with the NACP at local, state, regional, and national level. Also by my educational background. Also by my commitment to equal opportunity for all. The experiences I've had working in federal government, school system, city government, and all types of organizations, that uniquely qualifies me to serve on the national board. Inasmuch as you're aware that I have worked with all of the branches throughout this region for the past 10 or 15 years, and I've attended most of the national meetings the past 10 or 15 years, and I've served on several national committees, so I feel I'm extremely qualified for the position. In addition to that, I have the time, the desire, and the commitment.
With all of that, what did you want the people in Oklahoma to do?
I would like the support of those persons who feel that I could help be of service to them. As you know, the state of Oklahoma does not have a member on the National Board of Directors. Inasmuch as I'm only about 200 miles away from Oklahoma City, closer than that to some cities in Oklahoma, I feel I could be of service to them, especially sharing information, sharing their concerns. Let the National Board, what the people of Oklahoma and the remainder of our region know that we need. So I feel I could be extremely helpful to all the persons in this region.
Well, certainly, I would like to thank you for being a part of the Clara Luper radio show, and I know your friends all over Oklahoma are really excited about the fact that you have decided to run for the National Board of Directors of NACP.
Well, I want to thank you very much for this opportunity, and again, to all of my NACP friends in Oklahoma, I appreciate their support, and I'd like to count on them.
Oh, wonderful. When do they vote?
The voting has to be has to be completed before December the 20th. Every branch should have received its ballot already. They were to vote between November the 20th and December the 20th at the annual meeting. The ballot must be in New York by the 31st of December. They must be signed by the President and Secretary. Every member of NACP gets an opportunity to vote if they attend the meeting that's being held this month in a local branch.
Thank you. You've been so kind. And say a special hello to all of my friends in Tyler, Texas, and I do hope that you will go by the Sheraton Hotel, go into the restaurant, and ask for Cleo Fields, who was formerly of Oklahoma, who now owns that restaurant there at the Sheraton.
Okay, there's an AME meeting going on here. Many of the people are staying at the Sheraton. I just saw quite a few of them a few minutes ago.
So you go by there before you leave and go to Fort Worth.
I sure will.
This is Clara Luper saying thank you. Okay, bye-bye. That was Mr. Starr, who's from Fort Worth, Texas, who was down in Tyler, Texas. And now let's go to my favorite grocery store, Burger Brothers.
The specials of today are smoked picnic ham, 88 cents a pound, Wilson chitterling, $6.99 for a 10-pound bucket, and sandwich pack fryers, 39 cents a pound.
Well, thank you. All of that is at Burger Brothers. And where's Burger Brothers located?
412 South Harvey.
412 South Harvey in Oklahoma City. A special hello to the meat cutters at Burger Brothers. All those guys can cut that meat. I would like to take this opportunity, too, to thank not only the people at Burger Brothers, but I went down to Burger Brothers to buy my groceries, locked my key up in my car, and those people were so kind to me, and they didn't leave until that door was open, and one brother came there and showed us how to do it. Thank you, brother, wherever you are. And speaking of things in Oklahoma City, sometimes we live in the midst of mysteries without even knowing it. I want today to dedicate the rest of this program to a people who, according to my judgment, performed a miracle. And I want you to listen very carefully to these people who are my guests today. Drive by and see this miracle. In the meantime, I want you to remember our sponsors. I want you to remember Dr. A.L. Dow, our optometrist. Dr. A.L. Dow, who's located at 934 Northeast 8th Street. The telephone number is 235-0536. Once again, that's Dr. A.L. Dow, 934 Northeast 8th Street, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. America. What is America? Have you ever seen America? Well, let me tell you what happened to me. I have been extremely interested in a group of people who in 1982, in the month of November, who started a church in Oklahoma City. At that time, I was just like you. Is this another little box-in house? Will this be another blight upon Oklahoma City with a little church all boxed up? Or what would happen? Well, those people at Northeast, and they named it Northeast Missionary Baptist Church. And I said, Northeast, does that mean that we're going to have another third-class church on the northeast side of Oklahoma City? I know you're wondering, because many of you will not do what I have done. I have just admitted that we did need another third-class church in Oklahoma City. Now, I've admitted mine, and you have talked, but maybe you will admit yours. Well, I know you're wondering what happened to that small group of people. And to answer those questions, I have invited the chairperson of the trustee board and the chairperson of the deacon board. Now, I wish you were here with me, because on one side I have the chairperson of the deacon board. On the other side, I have the chairperson of the trustee board. Now, I would like first for the chairperson of the deacon board to introduce yourself to the 600,000 people that are not visiting with Clara Luper. Your name, please.
I want to thank you, Mrs. Luper. My name is William M. Potts.
William M. Potts. Now, I want to make sure that I have the right Potts. Is this the Potts that was in the wrecking business?
No, this is not the Potts in the wrecking business.
What kind of business have you been in, Mr. Potts?
We're in the construction business.
Oh, I see. That's a basic difference between wrecking things and constructing things. You are in the construction business.
Yes.
And you are a deacon and a businessman, too?
Yes, in as much as not the wrecking business, but the construction business, in as much as helping to construct God's program here on earth.
Oh, you are helping to construct God's program on earth as a deacon.
Yes.
How long have you been a deacon?
I've been a deacon for about 12 years.
12 years you have been a deacon. So, based upon former training, I will say welcome to the Clara Luper Show, Deacon Potts. Now, to my right here, I have another gentleman who I've been told is the chairman of the trustee board. And what is your name, sir?
My name is Tom Morris.
Tom Morris, that name is familiar. What kind of business are you in?
I'm an information systems manager for the Federal Aviation Administration.
I'm sure glad that you stated that. You're an information what?
Systems manager.
Sir, I'm from Hoffman, Oklahoma, and I don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
We design, develop, and maintain information systems that run on computers, large frame computers.
What kind of qualifications do you have to get a job like that?
Typically some formal training, college training, some trade schools prepare programming and systems analyst people.
Okay, you took me a little fast. In order to be trained for a job like that, you have to have what?
You need some college preparatory training, either formal training in an undergraduate program. There are some entry programs that you can come in through having an associate degree.
But why would a man with a profession like yours accept a job as trustee of a church board?
That's a good question.
It sure is.
We are people that work in the scientific areas are as committed to Christianity as people from any other walk of life.
Wait a minute, would you repeat that for me, please?
People who work in scientific areas are just as prone to be committed to Christianity as people from any walks of life.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Clara Luper radio show, and I will be back with the chairman of the deacon board and the chairman of the trustee board in just a minute. In the meantime, I have on a telephone here Julia Anderson. Julia. Hello?
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine, Julia. I'm sitting here with a deacon on one side and a trustee chairman on the other, and we are talking about one of the greatest miracles that I have seen in Oklahoma City. Tell me about that Christmas present.
Well, the Christmas present is a 2, 3, or 4-bedroom home that a person can move into on or by Christmas. And I'm just wanting them to call Anderson and Associates Real Estate Company at 427-5379 or 771-4897. And just leave us a message. We'll talk with you, and we'll show you that home and have you in it by Christmas. It's a real good deal, Miss Luper. And we want people to take advantage of it.
Well, now that the people heard it, I'm sure they will call you. And once again, what is that telephone number?
427-5379 or 771-4897.
Thank you so very kindly.
Thank you and goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. Bye-bye. That was Anderson and Associates, and I know you realize that without our advertising, you would not have the opportunity to hear some of the real stories in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, I've just told my audience that a small group of people got together in a home and said, okay, we are going to start a church. Am I right, Deacon Potts?
Yes, Mrs. Luper, you are correct.
Now, when you say small, what do you mean? About how many people?
At the beginning, I would say that there were approximately about 15 individuals who got together and started a prayer band.
A prayer band. Now, it was not a church. You started a prayer band.
This is true. It was not a church from the offset. It was only a group of people who were interested in serving God and continuing their Christian upbringing. Now, we got together and started this prayer band, and out of that, it was decided that why not a church?
All right, were you there, trustee chairperson?
I was not a part of the initial.
You were not a part of the initial group, but you were there.
Yes.
And there were 15 others, and you decided, why not a church? And
Yes.
out of that, you formed a church.
Yes, we did.
All right, when was that?
That was about 1982 when we started the prayer band, and in 1983 there were more who had joined this prayer band, and I think approximately about 43 or 47 individuals decided that it is time that we form the church.
Okay, now it is no secret, and certainly in Oklahoma City one time I did a whole radio story on split the split. It is a fact that most of the churches in Oklahoma City are split, and certainly I belong to a church that is split the split, Fifth Street Baptist Church was a split from St. John Baptist Church. Wildwood Baptist Church was a split from Fifth Street Baptist Church. Emmanuel Baptist Church was a split from Fifth Street Baptist Church. And I can continue with our splits. But in order for my radio audience to understand, you came out of the Tabernacle Baptist Church. Is that correct?
Yes, we came out of the Tabernacle Baptist Church.
All right. Now you're saying by 1983 you had 35 members and you were organized into a church that was properly incorporated. Is that right?
Yes.
Where did you meet, and how in the world could you find a place to meet in this crowded town, overcrowded town of churches?
Well, to start with, the Community Baptist Church, Reverend Jackson Cheadle, the pastor there, he permitted us to meet in his fellowship hall area as the prayer group. But we had to promise him that we would not organize a church within a church.
So you had to get out of the church to organize the church.
Yes, we were obedient.
Okay, that's great.
And when the group decided that it was time that we organized the church, then there was a building, a vacant church available to us on 3rd Street and Lindsay, Northeast 3rd and Lindsay. We went in there, rented there for a while, and we called in several ministers of the city, Oklahoma City, and they were instrumental in formally organizing this group, the prayer band, into a church.
Okay, now you got a church, you had a prayer band, now you had a church, you were in a temporary building, and that was on Northeast, 3rd and what?
Lindsay Street.
Lindsay Street. Were you there then, Mr. Morris?
Yes, I was.
Okay, now let's see when Morris came into the picture.
I was a part of the group when the church was first organized in November 1983, and we had approximately 85 members when we organized. We continued to meet in the building on Northeast 3rd and Lindsay for about a month. We investigated purchasing the building and decided it wasn't a wise thing for us to do. We then relocated to Central Plaza Inn, which is located on I-35 and Eastern Avenue. And we continued to meet there over the years until...
Wait a minute, Mr. Morris. Now, I know to meet at Central Plaza you have to pay. And you're talking about a little handful of people paying to meet down at Central Plaza.
Yes, this turned out to be the most economical way for a small group to get started as a church. As it turns out, our only overhead or our only outlay was the cost of renting space on Sundays. And that cost would cover setup costs, cleanup costs, the use of the space, utilities were provided, everything was provided that you would have in a turnkey building. Therefore, we were able to keep our costs down while we were small and growing.
Well, I am one of these doubting Thomases. I don't see how a few of you can afford to stay down to the plaza. But okay, after then, how did you go about getting a pastor? Here you are, just a bunch of little groups sitting down there praying and asking God for whatever you ask God for. Now, how did you go about getting a pastor, Deacon Potts?
Well, Mrs. Luper, we decided that it was time that we had a pastor. I think we were there about 8 to 10 months without a pastor.
Without, you were there 8 to 10 months without a pastor.
Yes.
Okay.
So when the group decided that we needed a pastor, we organized what we call a pastoral committee. And this pastoral committee started looking out. We sent out letters to ministers that were recommended to us, and when we decided to start listening to the ministers, then the pastoral selection committee was instructed to visit these pastors and invite them to our church there at the Lincoln, not the Lincoln Plaza, but the Central Plaza. And
Okay, now
If I'm-
we at our church we call ours the pulpit committee. So your pastoral committee did the research in the background on the ministers that you were inviting in. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, well finally they found the minister, I hope.
Yes, we found him in Tyler, Texas, his hometown, but he was pastoring in Mount Pleasant, Texas. So
That's a small place. He was a small-time pastor
he was
in Mount Pleasant now. I don't know of any large churches in Mount Pleasant, Texas.
well, there was one called the Mount Olive Baptist Church of Mount Pleasant, Texas. And we found this young minister, and he agreed to come and let us hear him. And strangely enough, we were able to get him on Mother's Day. I think that was 1984. So he came to us, and we seem to have had a courtship going from the outset there.
Let me ask the trustee, chairperson, did you hear Reverend Williams speak on that Mother's Day?
Yes, I did.
Were you impressed with his sermon?
Yes, I was.
Okay, now, after then, what happened, Mr. Potts? Deacon Potts, I'm sorry.
That's all right. After that, we extended to him a call to pastor our church.
Okay, did you send a committee down to Mount Pleasant to look at the church that he had previously pastored?
Yes, we did.
Was Henry Lurtz on that committee?
Henry Lurtz was a part of that committee.
Okay, I know Henry Lurtz came back to Oklahoma City and he was so excited. Now you have a pastor. Now you're down to Central Plaza. What happened next, Mr. Morris? Oh, I mean chairman of the trustee board.
Actually, when we organized and when we selected the pastor, we had an objective not to be one of the small churches that you mentioned at the top of your program. Our objective really was to be a complete church in every sense of the word. We began planning at that point what it would take for us to build the membership, to be able to do all the things that churches do in their normal operating mode. We began in Central Plaza to conduct our worship services, certainly, and to have other services during the week. But we also began then to plan for a new